Hey, hey, this is Sean from the Heavy Underground Farm Report. I do believe we're live with John Gist, a Planet Desert Rock Weekend. And today we're going to do something a little weird, a little different. John's going to interview me.
Yeah.
Hey, John, how you doing?
I'm happy to be able to do something fun here with you. It's really well deserved. You do a lot of stuff for our scene, and of course, this is your first foray
It is.
into a weekender, we'll call it, or festival. I almost sometimes don't call mine a festival, so just keep
Yeah,
that
it's
in mind.
festival. Like, is
I call it
festival
a
really the?
weekender.
Yeah, I think that's a better term. I don't
Well,
know. Like festival, like brings up these images of people like in the mud, living in tents, and like I think Woodstock.
oh God,
We are not doing that.
yeah, or multiple stages. You're
Yeah, no.
outside, and yeah.
Yeah,
But anyways, we're
yeah.
gonna really get down and dirty and find out a little bit more about you, Mr. Brooks, and
Oh,
what makes you tick within all this stuff, and then of course, why are you doing this? Kind of questions as well, coming from someone who this will be my sixth one. Uh, so I'm interested to hear some stuff on that. But
sure.
when did you get into the scene per se?
So I
Like,
think I
what's your
really
order of things?
so like I grew up in Denver, and I was involved with the punk rock scene when I was a kid. I
What
had
does that
some
mean?
I just went out and saw shows and stuff,
Okay.
and I was in a little band in like high school for just a short minute. With somebody who actually went on and got signed by Sub Pop Records, a band called Spell, not Spells, but just one single Spell out of Denver. This super cool cat, Tim
Wow.
Beckman, and his older brother was a big punk rocker. He still plays local shows in Denver, and that was my first exposure to music that wasn't on the radio.
Were you playing
Like
cowbell or what were you doing?
no, man, I was the lead guy, so I sang, and like we brought my brother a bass, and like he was the bass player like on day one that he owned a bass. So we were highly qualified musicians.
Well,
Oh,
plus in
Tim actually was, but yeah, I'm not
punk,
much of a
there's really not a singer. It's a
exactly.
vocalist.
So I fit right
Not
in.
not often. Yeah. So that's interesting. Okay.
It
Now
was
go
fun,
ahead.
man, and it was fun to be involved in that scene and go see bands. We saw bands that like became like the Fluid and got signed by Sub Pop, and Spell got signed. And so Denver had a successful grungy punk rock scene. We had Nirvana come through here before anybody knew who they were and stuff like that. So that was my initial exposure. A lot of do-it-yourself stuff, a lot of shows in like the American Legion Hall and stuff like
Ah,
that,
they
and
do that here.
it was
Yeah.
fun,
I never
man.
go, but they do that here.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Yeah. How old were you during all that time?
I think I was
Age range.
about 14, 13, 14. Got into like I was lucky enough my dad okayed my first concert when I was 13, and I went to Red Rocks and saw Joe Walsh.
Oh,
So I had live music exposure at a pretty young
nice.
age, and really good stuff too. I didn't like sit through any like kids shows or anything. It was like Joe Walsh at Red Rocks and girls in bikinis and smoking weed, and I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to
Is
be
that with
involved in
like
this kind of stuff.
your brother or your brother and dad or
My brother and an older friend, who lived. No, what my brother didn't go to that show, but I had a guy who was like 2 or 3 years older than me on my block, and he had a car, and we were pretty cool, and like we kicked hacky sack
he was
together,
a
and
bad influence on you?
he was a horrible influence on
You
me,
want
and
to
I
hear something
thank you
funny,
to this day,
John?
Jim.
You heard something funny? I
Yeah.
was at a show this past Friday, and it was with Frank Meyer, which I'm not that familiar with.
Okay.
And he's like from Screaming Cheetah, whatever the hell. And they were really cool. And then there was a band from Detroit that was called The Strains. They were great. And then there was, but get this, and then there was Nick Oliveri, and
Oh,
then there
hell yeah.
was Volume. And Volume's newest drummer is Tony Tornay, from Fatso Jetson and from All Souls.
Wait,
So
how new is
long
the
time.
newest drummer?
I mean, he's the drummer right
Okay.
now, we'll say.
Okay, so
Right?
he's the guy I saw too then. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Okay,
it
cool.
just happened.
Awesome. Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Okay,
Like
cool,
literally on
cool, cool.
Friday. And I was talking to Tony and I asked him, well, what's your history with marijuana? Sometimes I just come with random shit that maybe I thought about or I just think about it. I'm like, all right, well, then, let's have some fun. Talk about
Yeah.
something besides the usual shit. And so he goes, oh man, it's quite a long time. It was something, and then I go, "Wow, so you have an older brother?" He goes, "Nope, I just had a wild man like him around me. I grew up with Nick." And I'm
Yeah.
like, "Whoa." Yeah, he grew up with Nick and Josh. And so I just found that fascinating. And
That's
Don was, in the picture some too, and Nick was the wild man who had,
that's crazy.
yeah. So that just reminded me of that. I was hanging out with Nick. I was hanging out. It was a fun, and then there's like a goat snake bass player that was also in this band called Sonic Medusa was playing too. But enough about it. But it was fun.
So I bet.
And
Those guys
anytime with
Volume
Nick
is
is
cool. Those are
fun.
some cool
I
dudes.
got this shirt from Nick,
I
so
love that
it,
shirt.
it's only some people will understand it. So I wore it the other
Those
night,
of us who
and
may have heard Johnny Cash might understand it.
yeah, this is
I
Nick.
love that. I love it,
Yeah.
man. That's
So
awesome.
wow, you got lucky to be able to go to those things early on like that at young age. I got
Yeah,
to go
I
see.
like my parents were divorced, and I think my dad was kind of trying to be a cool dad,
Yeah,
and he is a cool dad. He really is a cool dad, and I
cool.
love him to death. And
Well,
but yeah,
John,
like
when
my second show was Ozzy with Randy Rhoads, and he drove us to CU Event Center in a snowstorm, and like just dropped us off, and was like, "I'll see you kids in a few hours," and like we were
nice.
like 13 and 14 years old, and he was like, he just kind of let us have our freedom. And it was
It's
like,
good.
we're Gen X kids, and our parents
Yeah.
weren't necessarily home all the time, and we were latchkey kids, and we did a lot of crazy shit when we were pretty young,
Yeah.
and I don't have any regrets.
All my concerts were between 83 and 87 as far as like the meat and potatoes,
Oh yeah.
highest era of heavy metal. I didn't get to see Red Rhodes, but I did see Jakey Lee on Ultimate Sin Tour. And
Oh
so,
yeah.
and then I've now met Jakey Lee like 4 times.
I was like, I've been in the same
So
room with
weird every
Jakey
time.
Lee.
Huh?
I've been in the same room with Jake.
That's right. That's
I
right.
know.
All right. So when did you get into this scene? Meaning where you got more acquainted to stoner rock and doom, maybe the heavy
So
psych. I think that's kind of the big
so
three.
yeah,
When?
like my initial foray was Melvins, and it was like because I really came out of the punk rock scene, and the second half of Black Flag's My War is pretty heavy and was different than just the typical punk rock thing, and I liked it. Soundgarden came along pretty, was part of that, but like really, I really didn't get into the scene until about 6 or 7 years ago in Denver, and I had quit drinking, and I had a friend, and she was dragging me out to shows, like some nights literally a super serious social anxiety,
Huh?
and I had a lot of trouble going to shows and going out, and she dragged me to see this band called well, I saw Green Druid, and I'm pretty sure the Munsons on the same night.
Okay.
And we usually just went to punk rock shows, but she's like, these guys are cool, they're local, let's go see them. And it was heavy and different, and like I had been listening to Fu Manchu and the Melvins for years, and I'd heard Sleep and stuff, and like I was aware that that genre existed,
Yeah.
but I hadn't seen it like really,
Yeah.
like, and that the live thing changed everything for me. And I basically stopped going to see punk rock shows. I mean, I saw a few more here and there, and I'll still like
Right.
go see one. I mean, it's
I
not
get
like
what
I'm
you're saying.
opposed to it, but my new jam was like seeing bands that were fucking slow and heavy, but still really good musicians. I didn't care about lyrics a lot at that point, and so
Man.
but I wasn't seeing a lot of bands with like harsh vocals. I've kind of opened my mind a little bit more to harsh vocals, but I think John, like you, I like guys who can really sing, and um, but yeah, there was just something going on in that scene. I went to shows for a while, and I was still pretty shy, and I never talked to anybody. I never met anybody at a
No.
show, and so my friend Chris, she would like purposely just leave me alone at shows, so I'd have to talk to people, and so I got to know some people on the scene just a little bit, and got some good contacts for some bands, and like loosened up and smoked some weed with some people, and kind of got a little more comfortable with it. But
Yeah.
like I was always pretty much just a loner at those shows, and I never really was involved with much of it really until one night we were smoking a joint outside a venue, and we were seeing Hastronaut, and Rob came up out of the venue after they played their set, and he was like, "Hey guys," and he just started smoking the joint with us, and we just
Yeah.
started talking to him, and it was like, I was like, man, people on this bands on the scene are pretty cool, and like,
Right.
and then it kind of brought me out of my shell a little bit. But really what brought me out of the shell, I mean, was meeting people on Facebook and stuff and, becoming more familiar with bands. But then I went to your show, dude, and, like, that totally changed everything for me. Like, I saw a community that I didn't know existed really.
Yeah.
People were cool. The bands were like so nice, and like I was like embarrassed to go talk to bands, but I like went and talked to Sage from Sonolith and wanted to see if they had any vinyl, and they didn't. But we struck up a cool conversation,
Yep.
and got to talk to the guys from Baracho and Mario, and I'd ordered
Yeah.
an album from Baracho, and I fucked up my own address. And if you watch this show, you find that easy to believe. But like, so we finally got it straightened out after a month. And so I introduced myself as, hey, Mario, I'm the guy that doesn't know his own address. And like, he was super cool. But everybody was cool at your show, including you, John. And, I was like, fuck, man, I want to be like more involved in some way, but I didn't really know how. And so I just kept posting albums that I liked. And I thought, man, that's pretty
Mhm.
good involvement too. And people are like, hey, I listened to that album you posted, and that was cool. And then one day, Andrea had to go to the doctor for some routine thing. I was in the waiting room, and I didn't have anything better to do. And Igor Lukina had sent me the Freak Folk of Mangrovia's album. And I was like, oh, I like this album a lot. I'll just write a little review while I wait for Andrea here.
Huh.
So I wrote a review, published it. Steve Howe was the next day was like, do you want to write for my blog? And I was like,
Right.
oh, are you
Cool.
fucking serious? And then I was like, shit, that's my in, man, I could do something for the scene.
Right.
And then, man, things kind of evolved from there. I interviewed
Right.
bands for a while. I wrote reviews for a while. Some of that's super fun, and some of it's like just drudgery and freaking a grind. And then Jason Doom up in Michigan and I became friends, and he was gonna put on a show. He was like, dude, I'm just gonna do it. I was like, you're just gonna put on a show? He's like,
Right.
fuck yeah, man, I don't know. I'm like, do you even know how to do it? And he's like, fuck no, I don't know. He's like, we'll figure it out.
Right.
And it was super inspiring to me that he just kind of like jumped out there and did it. And then, I talked to you, and like, I mean, you're intimidating in a lot of ways, John. I was like, I
Oh
don't know if I
God.
could do what John does, and but you like every aspect of me doing this, you've been super supportive. And so I thank you for that.
Yeah.
But
Anything I do to help. I think it's
yeah,
good to have regional fests, and stuff like that going on. As long as they do well. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
that's the key. And I think you just have such a good city.
I
Um,
agree.
like everyone I talk to that's on tours and stuff, and then when I know people in Denver and they're like, I was like, how was the crowd and all that? And it's always way above any kind of number that we have here or Phoenix usually, even the SoCal places. Meaning
It's
LA, there's no laydown in that city that has 10 million people, but
I
the
know.
demographics are all over the place. And the city's all over the place because
Yep.
not everyone lives in this. So
Denver's small. And
it's tough in San Diego, it's tough in LA. I mean, but
for,
there are big shows that happen, but Denver
yeah,
seems to be so that's I think a great advantage of doing this.
it's huge.
There,
It's a huge advantage.
yeah. I mean,
Like,
hell, if Jason could get that many people in Grand Rapids,
he
which nothing
fucking
in Grand Rapids, I don't know
dude,
anything about.
right, right. Well, Denver and Las
In
Vegas
Denver,
are more destination places, people like come here to go on vacation. People go to
yeah,
Vegas to go on vacation. And like you, I don't know anything about Grand Rapids. I'm going to go there next year and figure it
yeah,
out and see what the hell's up there. But no, man, Denver, like I was like, why don't we have like at least like a mini festival or something?
right,
I have great bands here, and like we're like regionally located where we can pull bands from Albuquerque or Salt Lake City or Kansas City, which we're doing, which is amazing.
right.
But I interviewed Lost Relics last night from Denver, and I was like, what do you think it is about Denver and why our scene is strong as it is? And the guy was like, we're fucking so isolated. He's like, there's nothing around us. So he's like, the bands work together, and there's like, there's a healthy competition for stage space, and I think all that makes people work harder, and like, but it's not competitive. Like the
Well, I
bands
guess
here
more
in Denver
importantly,
like each other. Like people,
well,
they're
but
really supportive of each other. It's super cool.
as long as if the musicians are going to other shows, which
And
over here is
and it's
that's good.
awesome.
I mean, we have zero of that in Vegas.
Y
It's sad. I mean, we don't even have a, stoner rock scene, period. Like,
right.
we have Starleth and
Yeah,
Solomon's kind of, a couple of your bands, and we'll talk about them. And then,
and they
like,
share members,
and then
so
bands with like stoner doom adjacent kind of stuff, with rougher vocals and things like that. That kind of is in the mix, and it's
like, we
rare
have
I
a
see people at other
yeah,
shows, and I hear that about San Diego a lot
yep.
and a number of other places. So like it's small clicks within the whole thing. But really most important is that there are fans that are going and getting mobilized to these shows and having a good time doing it.
And it's an interesting
That's
John, it's crazy and
that's
it's
cool.
great, and it's Denver's an interesting city, so, Coburnoid opened for the Atomic Bitchwax,
Mhm.
and man, dude, I fucking love both those bands, but I'm a huge Atomic Bitchwax fan. I fucking like that they're my whole basis of why you don't need fucking theatrics on stage. Just give me 3 dudes in jeans and fucking T-shirts and fucking let them rip like those guys.
Very good.
So Coburnoid plays first, and man, they have a great set. And there's probably, I mean, 200 people in the room.
Wow.
Yeah, it's big. And then so they get off the stage, bud, and like the Atomic Bitchwax plays to 125 people. Half the crowd leaves, and I've seen it happen to a lot of bands, but
That's some real homie, right? That's a
the
real homie
Denver
stuff, right?
bands have huge followings in Denver, and it
Yeah.
really affected the way that I wanted to set up my show. And like,
Weekday or weekend was that show?
it was a Friday night. It was Friday night, so it was a
Can't believe
cold,
people are
dude.
both out on a
Dude, it
Friday
was
night.
crazy. Like,
That's an extreme case of homerism, which I don't think is always that healthy either. We have
no,
that here at times. People go because their buddies are in their band, and then when the national acts that are better, in many of my cases at least, I'm not speaking for you,
yeah, right, right.
and other people are like gone, and you're like, why? Oh, you don't know the band? Oh shit, yeah,
So
that would really hurt for you to stick around and find out if they're any good. I mean, it's so weird,
it's
but yeah,
frustrating. It's
but
frustrating for me. It's frustrating for the local bands too, because I don't want to see that happen either,
yeah,
and
because that's
because they're staying to watch the show. I don't know where
and
the
they're
people.
hoping to sell
Denver
merch
closes. Denver
right
close.
after the set.
Dude, Denver
I mean,
closes
there's an
early.
economy, there's a whole economic evolution. All this is tied
Very
in together,
interesting.
so it's tricky. So I mean, I think it's super cool. How you came up. Now you came up with this with who?
I'm sorry. Oh, with
Who did
Seth,
you?
but yeah, I wanted to mention Seth, and that's where I was going with the story.
Yeah,
So, I'm hanging out with Luna Soul one night. Seth and I are watching a show, and I say to Seth, dude, it'd be cool to have a show. Like, it'd be cool to like have a couple out of town bands, like maybe like a Godzillionaire or somebody come in here and play a show, and but like have like 6 bands, kind of like make it like a mini festival, like Jason's doing up
right.
and Seth's like, yeah, that would be cool, dude. He's like, well, I know the owner of Bar 404. Let me make a phone call and I'll get back to you like next week. I'm like, okay, cool. So, we whatever, hang out for the rest of the night. I don't really think about it a lot. But on Monday, Seth calls me and he's like, hey, dude, I got Bar 404 for the weekend of April 24th through 20th. I'm like, the weekend? I'm like, dude, he was like, yeah, we could do a show Friday night, Saturday night. We'll do a show Sunday. Like, we'll get some local bands. I know some local bands. Like, we'll get a back line together. We like, this place is cool. Get some drink specials going. And I'm like,
Wow.
and all I'm thinking is, how am I going to get 17 fucking bands to come to Denver?
No,
So
you
I
know
don't know
that's easy
anything about
now.
this yet, John. So the first call I make, Baracho is the band that thought of this whole HUFR Fest thing and called it HUFR Fest. They were like, oh, you should have a HUFR Fest. And so I called Baracho and they're like, dude, look, you're in Colorado. We're not driving there. I'm like, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. But I like running with your idea. So, Blue Heron is like the next band. Like when I saw Blue Heron at Ripple Fest, the year before last, it was like being on acid without being on acid. It was like an out of body experience for me. It was like one of the best live experiences I've ever had. I was blown away by Ricardo and the rest of the band.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, it'd be cool if Blue Heron came up here. They're in Albuquerque. They're fairly close. And so I had Steve on Messenger and I sent Steve a message and he was like, yeah, dude, let me talk to the rest of this band. But we're like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Then Ricardo's like, well, why don't we bring Violet Rising? And then we know this other
Of course
band,
you
Gnome
do.
Stomper. And I'm like, oh shit, we're starting to fill it up. And then, called Sage and he's like, yeah, Sonolus in. And then Psalm is like, Ian's like, yeah, well, like, let's just do that. And so I have two bands that are sharing drummers. And then
Yeah.
I really liked Hibernauts album. And I sent them a message. They were like, everybody was just basically a yes. The only band that I would have really liked to have that just couldn't do it was Hippie Death Cult, and they're probably a little too big anyway. um but we've had great conversations. I
Yeah,
love those guys.
they're
They're
gonna wanna get
such
paid.
yeah, they're classy, awesome people. Exactly.
I know
And
them.
so, John,
Yeah,
this
they're good
speaks
people.
to a lot of my naivety on this whole thing too.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, shit, I don't know how, and Zeth really has got a lot of the business. Zeth's put on some festivals in Denver
Yeah, so he's got
before.
experience
He's got
in the
experience. So,
realm.
right. So, which I
Well,
think is making a lot of the local bands really comfortable in doing this,
yeah.
which really opened the doors. So,
Yeah, that's
Zeth
great.
deserves a lot more credit than he's getting.
Yeah, it's awful quiet over there, isn't it? The venue. I haven't done any research, I must admit. Tell me a little bit about the venue itself.
So, you guys, this venue is a really unique setup in Denver. When you go in the main door, there's like a separate bar that seats maybe 50 people, like if it's packed. And then you go through these doors, and that's where the room is. And it holds probably uncomfortably 200 people, but comfortably probably 150. It's not a really big place, but it has these sliding glass doors on the side. And if the weather's nice, they can open up the doors. And then you have the whole outdoor patio is exposed. If the doors are closed, you can still hear the music on the outside. So there's an outdoor smoking area, kind of like, it's important to me, John. We can't do it in a venue that doesn't have any smoking area. And
A certain kind of
they have
smoking.
good food and they have good
Oh,
drinks,
nice.
and it's like Jeff and I felt like it was a reasonably sized room that we could fill it up. And
Yeah, for the first fest.
yeah,
Are you doing pre-sale tickets?
I am doing pre-sale tickets now. You can get them on hufferfest.com. It's really do it yourself. We're taking Venmo payments and PayPal payments
Well,
and just
tell us
putting
how
the
much are
tickets
each
are
of the nights or just the idea?
$5,000 for the weekend. No, I'm just kidding. It's
Uh-huh.
like a very reasonable $65 for the weekend if you buy a 3-day pass. It's $25 a day, so you do save $10 if you buy the weekend pass. I think at this point, the important thing about buying a ticket in advance is this is a pretty small room, and I have a feeling that as we get closer to the event,
Yeah.
tickets may become scarce. So if you're interested in coming, I would, buy a ticket now. They're reasonably priced. And, I mean, I'm a pretty reasonable guy. So if something happened, you like had to withdraw, drop out, I'd laugh and keep your money. No, I'm just kidding. We could probably work something out.
Yeah.
But seriously, like, it's like the bands that we're bringing in just like for $25, just, it seems like a steal to me. Um, the money that you're paying, man, I'm not really making any money here. The bands are going to get paid, and that's where the money's going. Um,
No,
but
so
yeah, man, the bands
what about the
are weirdly
location?
excited to play them, which excites the hell out of me.
Yeah, man, of course. What's the how's the location and proximity to other stuff if someone wanted to maybe eat
So,
before the show or,
so
go
Barf,
somewhere else, and how's parking? Talk to us about that.
that's a great question. So we're on South Broadway in Denver, which has three really good music venues: HQ, High Dive, and Bar 404. There's a lot of restaurants right on the street. The street is definitely, it's a walking street in Denver. People are, I mean, you're not
Cool.
walking down Broadway, but the sidewalks, there's lots of foot traffic. There's a cool little pizza place that you can pop in and grab a slice. There's a Korean barbecue place just around the corner. Got like a Hawaiian restaurant. There's Dave's Hot Chickens down the street. There's plenty of places to eat.
Right.
Parking is not a hassle on South Broadway. You may have to walk a block or two, but really not it. The street is made for people parking their cars and getting out and walking around and looking at shops and stuff. So
Cool.
parking is really not. I've never had a hassle parking down there. It's very music friendly, that area. It's my favorite place to go see shows in Denver. We have another street, Colfax, that is just the fucking zoo. And
Yeah.
so I didn't really want to have it on in a place on Colfax. I wanted to have it on South Broadway because exactly what you're talking about. proximity to good food. There's other things to do. There's other, record stores and bookstores, and it's a
Right.
cool place, and it's very central to the Denver stoner rock scene.
Right. That's great. It sounds like really cool stuff. It's in the city, right? So that
Yep.
makes a central point for a lot of feeder, towns
Yeah.
or suburbs and all that other stuff.
Exactly.
That
And people in Denver will complain about the traffic, but like I'm from the Bay
everyone
Area
complains about the traffic.
originally. There's no traffic in Denver
Everyone
anymore.
complains about the
It's not like
traffic,
California
and none of
traffic,
them have lived in the
Yeah.
Washington D.C. area, the LA area, or even Atlanta
Chicago.
area.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
shit is bonkers. I'm
Right.
glad not to be anywhere
Nothing like
near DC anymore. I grew up
s-
outside of it.
yeah.
And I lived in Atlanta too. And it was like,
Dude, Atlanta's a zoo.
yeah.
Yeah.
They never thought they'd have that many people. I mean,
Yeah.
that's kind of the way that TV they're like,
So Denver,
holy shit.
see, Denver's a
So
more manageable version of that. Yeah. So like I would
it's
say if you're
cool.
gonna look, if you're coming from out of town, you're looking for a hotel, look for a good deal. There's not really a bad part of Denver. Denver's a pretty unique metropolitan area where there's no part of Denver that I'd be like, don't stay there. The traffic's good. So if you want to stay, 10, 20 minutes away from the venue, you're not gonna have any problem getting in and out, and look for a good deal. And like we're looking, Zeth's looking into a hotel deal. We should have some details on that soon. We'll see what we can do for you guys. But like, if you're coming in from out of town, I'm deeply touched and honored that
Have
you would do that.
Sean, have you looked at the sales that maybe have so far and tracked where they're coming from? I'm a total
Dude, this is mind blowing to me. So,
Fort, you know,
I've had the
addict.
furthest anybody is coming that I know of so far is from New York. So I had a couple in New York buy tickets. Of a rather famous couple from the Oakland area that has purchased tickets. Super stoked. Debbie Lee and Scott look like they're going to come
Yes.
in. I'm sorry if I'm giving away your plans. You can sue me. You guys know I'm worth nothing.
Oh,
But it was a great honor to have them purchase
cool.
some
So you
tickets.
getting
My
some of
buddy
that out
Jason's
there.
coming. My buddy Jason's coming down from Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'd need someone from Texas to buy a ticket so I can go all points northeast, south, and west.
Right.
I hope you can make it, John. Obviously, I know everybody has like lots of stuff going on, but man, the lineup is crazy.
Yeah, talk to me a little bit. What's a
Yeah.
band or two that you haven't seen yet? Talk to
So,
us. We're going to talk a bit about all the bands, so just start.
so
You
I'm
know,
I'm
Bands
very
maybe you haven't seen before yourself.
so I'm very excited to see Hibernaut. They're playing on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
They're from Salt Lake City. I have their album. It's great. They're a heavy doom band. I think, I wanted to have a variety of hard rock and doomy bands, and they definitely are on the doom side of things. They're excellent musicians, great people. I'm super excited to see
A
those
lot of
guys.
people, I mean, with Hibernaut, I mean, that their release or two of late, it's gotten a pretty good amount of social
Yeah,
media fanfare along the way.
yeah,
Did well on
doom.
Doom charts as
Yep.
well. So definitely a band I hear a lot of. I think one of the guys maybe was also in the band Iota that played at
Oh shit,
Planet
really?
Edge Rock. I
Dude,
think.
Iota, man, Iota, gosh, I filled up so fast, but Iota was on that list of bands that I would have loved to have come in here.
And that singer,
Yeah,
Mr.
they were great at your
Toscana,
show.
he also has his own other band called The Dwellers that just put out a small stone album this year. Totally different.
All right.
Like way different than Iota.
Salt Lake City, it's a
It's
good
got a
scene,
few
man.
things going on there.
Hell yeah,
I'm not
for
gonna
sure.
say it's. I mean, I don't know.
I don't
I
want to
even know
move
more
there.
than maybe I do know over 5, but I don't know if I know 10 bands from there. But
Yeah, pretty good.
it does have some stuff.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
And then people turn out there for shows too. It's cool.
Some I hear that. Yeah,
Well, man,
Ace's Saloon, I think, is one spot.
like I've seen on Saturday I have Psalm and Momo Voodoo playing, and I haven't seen either one of those. Psalm shares a drummer with Sonolith. I'm very super excited. Young kids, their album was fantastic. Looking forward to seeing those guys.
So
Then
on
Momo,
Song, Sean,
yeah,
I
yeah.
was at the Volume Nick
Oh yeah,
Albert's
yeah. How were they,
choir
man?
show, and Ian and the front man were there.
Oh, that's
Quite
cool.
the afro. Oh, him and
love
Michael Guy. That's a battle of the afros right there. That's a young.
We're gonna
buck,
have some.
too.
Dude, wait till you see Lord Velvet. We have some hair battles going on. We've got some great hair at HUFR Fest. Not mine, John qualifies. If you make it, John's in the Good Hair Club. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, like these guys in Lord Velvet, it's like, geez, dudes, can I borrow a little hair? So but anyway, man, I haven't seen some
Mama
or
Voodoo, I'm looking forward to maybe catching. I dig
so
that
dude,
album. Yeah.
I love that album. Matt Watkins is an original member of WoFat, and some things didn't happen with between, but Matt and Kent still work closely together, and Kent Stump like produce their albums and stuff, and there's definitely a Woe Fatty feeling in there with Momo Voodoo. Also pretty doomy band too. Heavy. Matt Watkins is a great guy. I can't wait to see these guys. So I'm super duper excited to see those guys. And then the band that I have, the two bands on Sunday that I haven't seen, I have not seen Gnome Stomper from Albuquerque. Um,
So I was
I've
trying to look them up,
they're hard to
and I
find.
thought the name was Home Stomper, which I'm like, does that
So
mean like
it's
they're
so
giant or like Godzilla and he's stepping? I was a little
Nome,
out
like
there.
the city in Alaska, Nome, or the town in
Well,
Alaska,
but
Nome.
yeah, I mean, the way it's written, it's kind of,
Dude, how could I bands? I love you, but stop doing that. I can't read
I
your
don't
name.
use I don't use logos. Nope.
No, dude.
Never. You notice my posters, anything I do, I don't use their logos. And it's
Dude,
not
it's too.
because I don't have black metal, death metal bands anyway.
All right.
But I'd rather have things uniform. It looks a little sharper for me, at least.
I agree. I
But
do.
yeah, it can be a little
Yeah.
tricky with that stuff. And then I
But
finally found like some other that I figured it out. It was Nom Stomper or whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I clicked. I'm like, well, yeah, that's pretty interesting. I
they're
never.
good. They're good. I like them. Ricardo from
He's in that band
Blue
too.
Heron. No, he's big on him though. He was like, or Steve. It was Steve. He's like, dude, check these guys out. They'll come and play too. And it was like, well, hell yeah, why not? And I like their stuff, and it's like cool, and it's it's cool to bring in some bands that like people don't necessarily know, and it's a good chance
Yeah,
for
of
that
course.
band to make some fans. And like they're certainly, I mean, awesome. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
And then I have this group of guys from Chicago coming in that I haven't seen before. Black Sunrise
Oh yeah.
and John, they're your kind of band, bud. Great lead
Yeah.
singer, definitely classic rock influenced, heavy,
Yeah.
but like kind of new wave of British heavy metal heavy maybe in a way, like
I
but
have
not.
I have the promo download, so it's
Yeah,
on
it's
my phone,
good.
so I hear them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're good.
I think they're pretty good. I think they're a little more. I mean, actually, I didn't mind them from the beginning, but I think they're a little grower on me, which just for me, sometimes there's bands that it's second, third time I hear a song is when I really know what's truly if there's a connection or not. And so I thought they were a pretty good. I think they're a little bit younger too, right?
They're
Or
they're
no?
they're older
Maybe I'm thinking of them.
guys. They're older guys, newer band.
Okay, that's it.
Definitely good players, though, man. I think they're gonna just put on a ripper of a
Coming all
show.
the way from Chicago.
I know, man. I'm so excited. They're hey, I say, hey, there's some comments out there really quick. Hey, Mickey, thanks for watching, bud. Chris McGowan, yeah, it's Chicago, baby. I got Jason out there watching. Thanks. I got
Thanks.
Andrea. Andrea, I guess I'm married to Andrea. Hello, Andrea. All right, cool, man. Thanks everybody for watching. But yeah, but Black Sunrise, we've done some interviews and stuff. They're super sweet guys. Um, and then man, like, so there's 5 bands that I haven't seen personally, but I've seen everybody
Yeah.
else. And there's nobody on my list that I'm not absolutely thrilled to see. Like Shadow of Jupiter's coming out with Black Sunrise. So the Chicago bands, they're traveling out here and they're going to play some sets, and they're both going to play on Sunday. With this band here, Messiah Vor from Denver, kick ass.
Oh
Like
yeah.
the last time I saw Messiah Vor was, it's been a long time since I just stood there with my mouth open and just tranced by the music. They really put on a great set, and their music, man, they're good hard rock, definitely a little twinge of metal in there. Great, good vocals, but just man, just like relentless energy. I loved them. Um, and man, I have the most interesting band coming from Grand Junction, Colorado, Peach Street Revival.
Uh-huh.
It's a 4-piece band, 3 ladies, and just a fantastic guitar player. The vocalist has just crazy range. This band knows what they play Sturgis a few times. They played in front of big crowds. Man, I think some people they're going to turn some heads.
Yeah,
They're incredibly talented.
and
Uh,
Dave Angstrom, is working with them on
yeah,
stuff. Dave Angstrom from Hermano
yeah.
and Luna Cole.
It looks like they
Um,
have some stuff going with Ripple too, from what I've read. So I mean,
don't say
they're
anything until
legit,
it's
man.
official. You never know.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
exactly. I don't
but
know.
but and
So
I've chatted with a couple of the ladies and him as well. I think they're talented. They got some a great upside. So we'll
yeah,
see. And she's definitely the full package as front girl or front
yes.
woman
Right.
as
She's
well.
attractive, she's got a great voice, she knows
Yeah.
how to interact with the crowd and the band. I think, they're closing the whole show. They're a band, like, I mean, we're gonna let them play as long as they wanna play, and, like, man, they could play for hours. Their repertoire, like, the last time I saw them, they played at this, little park up in Broomfield, which is a suburb of Denver, and they played a version of War Pigs that, like, just, like,
Nice.
I couldn't believe, and then they went right into Frankenstein,
Huh?
and they've got chops, man. And then
Yeah.
they have original music that they're making with Dave. They wrote some songs with Dave Angstrom
Yep.
apparently, and like their originals are great too. So I'm thrilled about the Sunday. It's a Sunday show. Also starts at 1 p.m. We're gonna do a matinee.
Oh,
We're going easy on the old people. We'll see how that works out.
easy. Some of us old people like to sleep in and take our
Well,
time getting there, but
nobody
I
sleeps
hear you.
in Denver, John. They go up and go for a hike. So I don't, but that's
Oh,
the
that's so
rumor.
cute.
Man,
Hey, question
yeah.
for you. You said Shadow of Jupiter, but I don't think I saw them on the poster. They're coming to play?
So they are on the poster now. So the original poster they were not on. We had the poster redone. Colin pointed out that I posted the wrong poster on the website. I have corrected that now.
Change that
Sorry about
Facebook
that,
one
Colin.
too under the
But
event.
man, fucking Shadow of Jupiter fucking brings it. Like I saw them at Ripple Fest. They were
Yeah, they're
great.
great.
Like, dude, they're great guys. Just really good humans.
Yeah.
And they're fun to hang out with, and I'm glad I hope they're gonna be there for the whole weekend. Other bands need to network with these guys. They've got it going on. They super professional, great songs, great guys. I mean, the total package. Do you mind if I talk about some other bands we haven't really quite hit yet?
Go for it.
All right, my man. The Saturday lineup is insane. Psalms opening, and Momo Voodoo is playing right after them. And we talked about those guys briefly, followed by a band I absolutely adore, Godzillionaire. If you watched my show with Steve Howe earlier, you know that's my album of the year. Diminishing Returns is I love that album. It's the best rock album I've like had my hands on in years. And
Top
it's
five for me this
yeah,
year as
but it's
well.
just amazing. So I'm super, I talked to the band. I was a little reluctant to ask him at first, or hesitant, I should say, worried about Mark Hennessy's health, but apparently Mark's doing great. And so we're going to see him out here, in April. They're playing right before Luna Soul jumps on stage, Dave Angstrom's band. Luna Soul's had a recent lineup change. We've got Jason. Oh my gosh, Jason, I can't look at your last name. Jason on bass. Jason with the last name I can't remember on Jason. Oh my gosh.
That's
Ron
right. He's
Dabney,
not
help me out
listening.
here. Yeah, he's not watching. Jason Groves, sorry, Jason. And then Zeth, my partner in crime, along with Andrea, putting on the show. Zeth's the drummer for Luna Soul. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Blue Herons up after that. I talked about those guys earlier. Like, that's a band. I totally will fanboy when they're here. I love
The
those guys.
new album is kind of like an EP of originals and then another side alive.
Dude, that
It,
Clutch cover is badass.
yeah, he's such a powerful singer. He's got the ability to just kind of sing it, and I even
Yeah.
heard him do it at the last Triple Fest. I watched him at, which I even told him afterwards that was notably better than the time before.
Yeah.
Not the time before was bad. I was like, damn, that was next level. I told Kine the same thing, and I really was impressed um, by their sound live.
Yeah.
It's powerful, and
Yes.
I honestly, after a while, I'm not looking at anyone but Ricardo.
Oh no.
I've been staring at
I love the
Ricardo.
rest of the band, and I hope nobody takes this personally, but
Yeah, but Ricardo
Ricardo's like watching, like, it's mesmerizing to watch this man drum. He's
yeah.
using his feet. He's elbowing the freaking hi-hat. Like,
He's
I
got a lot
mean,
of flair. That's what it's
and
called.
and
But he's got it with technical abilities. Like
yes.
there's no, I'm blown away when these guys go flick the fucking things around and shit. I mean, I'm sure if I had a stupid thing, I mean, if I had a drum thing and I just walked around with it for days on end, maybe I'd learn that. But doing it in front of hundreds of people or whatever, it's pretty cool. I'm
Amazing.
like, damn, that's awesome.
Amazing. And
And
then
I just think he's got a great ability. Yeah, I think Blue Heron is, continuously pushing the envelope, getting a little bit bigger each time.
yeah,
Yeah.
thrilled to have those guys. And
Yeah.
then the closer on Saturday night is just a massive band locally, and they're starting to make some foray. They played Jason Doom's show, Cobranoid.
Oh, yeah.
Man, killer live show, relentless energy. They know how to interact with the crowd. They're serious and they're funny. And like they just know how to read the room. And man, they read that room and then they take the room with them and they go on their journey. And like everybody if you haven't seen Cobranoid live, you're gonna love them, man. I mean, like they are fucking amazing. So Cobranoid and I go back a little bit, and
great guitar action.
It's so
they just rip. I saw them at Dive Bar here in Vegas. And,
oh, that's right. That's right.
Super fun night. Yeah, I think they're like stoner metal.
Yeah, stoner metal for sure.
There's some bands out there.
Speed Doom.
I'm not going with that.
That's their thing, man. They love
everyone's making up
shit. I know, but I agree.
At least it's a little tried and true.
I agree, dude. I totally agree with your description of that.
Like Wolf Tooth is kind of like stoner metal, and Witch Skull is stoner metal.
Yeah. I think they're like, I agree.
More in the metal, But anyways,
Crystal Spiders falls in that for me too. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm going to make every effort to go. It pretty much is, as long as I don't lose a bunch of money on my festival, which makes me depressed.
And bringing all the money I have, John.
Then yeah, I should be able to reconcile quickly, get to Denver, get a cheap flight, cheap room, and so it all depends on the rest of this time for pre-sales.
Well, I'm hoping you're going to be there. You're going to want to be there Friday. So let me just I need to talk about
Friday. I mean,
so Friday.
On Friday.
I know you guys. There's still a whole nother day of bands that I haven't even talked about. So on Friday,
I don't even know if we talked about anything more than Saturday. Did we talk about Sunday already? Oh, we did.
Yeah, Saturday we got 6 bands. Cobranoid's closing it up.
Okay.
All right, man. Friday I have a super good friend of mine opening the show, Vashon Seed. So the first show that I remember being at with this guy, we saw these 2 punk rock bands that eventually merged and became The Fluid, which was the first band Sub Pop signed outside of the Pacific Northwest. It was in 1983 that we saw that show.
Shit.
We go back. And so Michael's still active in bands, a great guitar player and singer. I couldn't think of anybody else that I would want to open my festival than Vashon Seed. People are going to dig him. They're going to put on a good rock and roll set. This is no charity move by any means. These guys are good. They have an album out. John, if you have trouble finding it, I'll get you some links to it. Really good guys.
I listened to today, and I was like, this is pretty cool.
Fuck yeah.
And I guess a couple of the members were formerly in a band called Blood Circus on Sub Pop. And so I actually asked one of my buddies who's been paying attention to the scene forever.
You're gonna love this.
You heard of Blood Circus? Because it's an old school punk grunge from
that's the scene, bro. Yeah. I
was like, oh, cool.
So
that's a wildly cool.
It's a sentimental pick for me, but it's like it's I love that dude, and I'm glad he's playing my show. And I wouldn't have it any other way.
I did have Jason Walker on a stoned idea one day at Vamped, dude. And Jason Walker, I'm like, Bad Motor Finger, and I came up with the whole idea.
Badass.
And he tried to change it a little bit, and I'm like, no, Bad Motor Finger. The other day, and it was great, right, Sean?
Yeah, it was great. Okay. It was great.
So then this past weekend, I think it's this past weekend, weekends blur after a while.
I understand.
There was an all covers night at House of Blues. Now, folks, I go to cover band shows for social reasons and because we have really good cover bands and we don't get enough original music. We don't get any good original music of any of our ilk at all. Like it's 1-2 a month, maybe. So
tribute bands are fun, man.
Festival, it was System of the Down. My buddy Craig plays drums. He was in Flotsam and Jetsam for like decades.
Oh my God, Andrea knows those guys. That's crazy.
Oh my God. And so it was Flotsam, Jetsam, having does Alice in Chains. I knew this kid when he was a bar back at Vamp, and now he's a singer. He's all slithering around. I sometimes tell him, like, dude, Staley wasn't really slithering around like fucking Wyland or something. So it's a little darker. Just stare at the crowd with sunglasses. But he's got, good body. He's all built, and he's like blonde. And anyways, he kills it.
Right on.
Jason Walker led off the whole thing. And holy shit, with that sound, I mean, there was nothing wrong with our sound system, it was vamped. But in House of Blues,
oh,
and
dude,
he went for it on vocals, Sean. I'll send you a video too. He went for it.
You guys, Jason Walker, check Jason Walker out.
People are like this. Holy shit. Like, he should be the singer if Soundgarden gets back together. Yeah. Not Taylor Momsen. I'm tired of everyone wants to pawn a chick on the Soundgarden. Soundgarden was a fucking band. Come on,
yeah, dude. Jason Walker.
No, I'm joking. But
no, but seriously, Jason Walker should have that job.
He should. I need to send something over to
I was
the
a little
basis.
like, I was literally like, so John's gonna have a tribute band at a show?
I
was a little skeptical until they stepped on the stage.
I just know how professional he is. He plays with Gene Simmons.
They were so awesome.
Gene Simmons and like Brian Tish from White Snake and all these guys that play with like the legends of the world. And and so I get it when you want to do that kind of thing. And that's the cool thing about having your own festival.
Fuck yeah, I get to see the bands that I want to see. I want to talk before I get to Hibernaut, the next band playing on Friday. Honestly, that's the way I kind of looked at this, John. It's like, Zeth and I were like, we're bands we'd want to go see. It's like, let's call those bands first.
Yeah.
And luckily, all those bands basically said yes. So it was cool. So the next band that was a yes was Hibernaut. They're playing their second band on Friday night. We're super, thrilled to have those guys coming from Salt Lake City. And then then we're playing a band that I feel super fortunate to have, Violet Rising. So Ricardo's a drummer in that band as well. Yep. And so we have our first female lead singer of the show coming up. So we love that. Definitely have some ladies playing at that show. We're excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Violet Rising, I saw them in Ripple Fest. They're fucking great. And it's a totally different sound coming from Hibernaut. So we're gonna throw the curveball out there and give people some variety. Violet Rising will impress. And then the next band just got done Ripple Fest Mexico. They're a local Denver band, Lord Velvet, and they're a really good band.
I like their stuff, and I've met their singer, Taylor.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, nice guy. And I'm really impressed with their stuff. I think they got some good upside to them, the vocals as well. And I like them. And so that's another facet behind why I just gotta, at some point in time, commit.
Yeah, I love it. Well, I'm glad, and Lord Velvet is a band that if you're not familiar with, go jump on Bandcamp, check out their album, man. So I picked up their vinyl a couple of years ago at one of their shows, and I took it home, and I had listened to it streaming, and I put it on side 2. There's a bonus track on side 2, and they do a version of Mountains, Mississippi Queen, and the only place that you can get it is on the fucking vinyl. And yeah, and it's a unique version. They don't cover it just like Mountain played it. It's great, but they've added a new member as well, new bass player. They're writing new music. I'm hoping they have some new stuff out before HUFR Fest, but if not, I hope they play some new tunes. But they're a really talented band. Really know how to play to the crowd. They're another band in Denver that draws people in. And they do it because they're great musicians, and they're good guys too. They're really good guys.
Yeah,
and that's pretty consistent on the Denver scene.
Yeah, I thought he was a cool cat. I met him at Ripple Fest, and I had their EP or whatever on my phone for shuffle for like a long time. I mean, it's one of like a lot of thousands of stuff, but I think they're cool stuff, and hopefully they just keep plugging away, putting new stuff out and everything else
me too.
along the way. Yeah.
And then the next band
finishes tonight.
We have one more band before we're finished, before Lost Relics plays. We're Sonolith from Las Vegas. You may have heard of them. You may have heard of the town Las Vegas. So I got Sonolith coming in. Adam and I Adam, like just Ben, they were out here in Denver. We had lunch together. Good guys. They were in Denver and I played with Cobernoid and they made some fans here. And I know people are thrilled to have them back. I'm thrilled to have them back. They were a big highlight for me, the first Planet Desert Rock that I saw them. So we're thrilled about those guys too. And then closing the show on Friday, I have a local band called Lost Relics, and these guys are local legends. Ooh, I talked to them. I have their album right here. Die, Cried, and Loath. They've had some personnel changes since this album's made, but check out that album. It gives you a good idea of the sound. I asked them last night who their influences were, and they're heavily influenced by the Melvins, which is good news to me, and maybe not great news to everybody else, but it should be. No, I'm just kidding. But I love Melvins. They definitely are good, hard rocking, doomy, but not they're writing faster songs, the shorter,
Mhm.
faster songs and a lot of doom bands, but there's that doom influence in there. They're just beloved on the Denver scene, and they're gonna be a great band to have close Friday night. Once again, these are great people. John, like Lost Relics, I reached out to him, or Seth reached out to him initially, and then I had not met him, and I don't necessarily know all the guys on the Denver scene, and I didn't know the guys in Lost Relics. We asked them to do the show, and their first email to me was, "What can we do for you? How can we help? How can we volunteer? And hey, we got a cab guy, so we can help you with your backline." And so this is the kind of response that I've got
Yeah.
from Denver bands, like, and
Nice.
it kind of like weirded me out a little and blew me away. And I'm like, so I asked them, like, why are you guys doing this? And they're like, because we want your show to be successful because it's good for our city and it's good for us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like, man, fuck yeah, that's what better reason is there than that?
You need a
And
lot of
so,
people to feel the same way. It makes things really good.
y-
I don't have
yeah,
any local that other than the venue that really pushes and I mean, yeah. So it's tough on your
it's
own.
a
Well,
unique
tell me
situation.
about backline. Backline is being supplied to you.
So Zeth is really the backline guy.
Okay.
So we've got some drum kits set up, Messiahvor and Cobernoid, and the local band Lost Relics in particular are lining us up some equipment, so the out of town bands are not going to have to like haul every single piece
Well,
of
yeah.
equipment with them. And we have some bands coming from Chicago and stuff. I don't know if they're driving here or
Well, I
flying
mean, but
here or
is
what.
everyone and maybe this is
Yeah,
newer for you. I've had
yeah,
to
it
get you.
probably is.
Yeah, backline like is it going to be one set of drums, or are they trading them out between
I think we're
sets
just going to go with one set of drums a
each
night.
night?
We have a unique situation with Cobernoid at the end of Saturday night,
Yeah.
where Kevin has kind of a unique drum setup. So I don't know if he's gonna use the drums for there, or we're gonna haul in his equipment
Who's
really
gonna have to
quick.
take a little
But
more time between the
we
set.
really want to minimize the time between the sets.
Well, I mean, how long are you allotting right now?
I'd like it to be no longer than 25 minutes, and I really
Oh
like it to
no,
be
it's really going to
20.
be 20, 25, 20
Yeah.
max, really.
So I don't want it to be any longer because I want to give people a chance to talk, but I don't
Yeah,
want to
it should be
lose but I
20.
don't want to lose the flow of the show either.
Yeah, but
Uh,
well, make sure I can make you a playlist. You got one for yourself. I can make you one
yeah,
just
yeah, I
for that
started
set
one. Yeah,
put on there, or you just have some fun to do that if you have that time. You know what I mean?
yeah,
While doing
cool,
everything else,
smart.
so that you're playing
Thank
it
you.
like in Planet S Rock, where we got the music in the background so you can hear it. You know what I mean?
Jason saying
While
20
you're
minutes. Hell yeah.
yeah, 20 minutes in industry standards.
Cool. Let's do it. Then
It's
we
just
could do
with
it.
the drum stuff makes things a little. It could be, it has to be quicker action, and then they got a parlay moving into then line checks and all that good stuff. And so yeah, that's
Yeah.
great. You got people bringing in cabs, like bass cabs, guitar
Yeah.
cabs, and
Yeah. Yeah. It's huge.
headers.
So, yeah, I've got to talk to a guy, who's just slightly out of town, but it looks pretty good. And, we're jumping on this stuff months in advance. We don't want to leave anything to the last minute. We want to be set up. And so, the equipment thing, like, I'd like to have that in line as soon as possible so I can sleep at night.
Yeah, I'm about to finalize mine. I got to pay for mine, unfortunately. Uh, but I did that last year
So
too. So
I
I
want to
even got
say,
to go find a
like,
sound person.
dude, I just have a really unique situation in Denver that you don't have in Vegas, and that's the local scene that's huge here, and it's
Yeah,
supportive
great.
and supportive of each other. And I think that's going to make this show possible. And, Zeth has been part of the scene
That's awesome.
forever and he knows everybody. He's really, once again, I'm not giving Zeth the credit he deserves. He's definitely deserves half the credit for all this
I think
stuff.
he's getting a lot of love tonight from
Yeah,
my side.
he should, because he's like, this wouldn't be happening without him. His knowledge and his contacts have just been amazing. And then, it just leaves me kind of to do one of the things that I do pretty well, which is just fucking talk.
The
I like
powerhouse.
promotion and stuff, and like, that let's see, what do you, John? So Jason's asking, what do you, John, have to pay for? Are you asking like
But I have to pay for
backline?
everything.
Oh, so
I
the
have to pay for
backline.
everything, pretty much. Other than the
So do you like
venue.
rent the backline at your show, or like is
Yep.
there like from a music store kind of thing?
No, I mean, I know a guy that does sound all around town. I've worked with him on a bunch of stuff over the years. He's got very high quality, good stuff.
Your
Says
sounds
he,
badass.
I gotta do the final. I gotta get the final stuff to him on and see what he gives me for a bill, or for invoice. But I will be working with Arthur C as well from the band Unita and House of Promises.
Did I tell you the last time I saw Arthur? So
When
we went and saw Slightly
Slightly Stupid,
Stupid at Red Rocks,
yeah,
and Andrea's like, I think Arthur's here, and I'm like, what?
he
And
works
she's
with
like,
them.
I'm gonna text him. So she texts him, and he answers from the stage, and he comes out, and so like we wait till after the show, and we like walked up because we had like really good seats, so we were already like in the second row, so we just walked
Nice.
up, and I yelled Arthur, and he came over, and we had a sweet conversation about Planet Desert Rock Weekend,
He's
and
such
yeah,
an awesome guy.
he's an
He's
awesome
going to be
guy.
supplying guitars, um, probably a pedal board or two for some of these guys. We do the guitars and bass and all that stuff. It's for these, European bands.
Yeah,
I take care of like all that kind of stuff for them. Um, and Arthur, I mean, Arthur even could be a possibility of supplying the backline instead of the other guy. And I already know Arthur's going to have primo stuff as well. He
oh
just
yeah,
drives over the whole weekend. I pay him, money as well. But I love Arthur and I want to pay him for his time because
hell yeah,
when you're working, when you're someone who's actually has work, going on regularly within our industry or even production he does on some stuff in the Palm Springs area, time is money.
yeah.
And so that's where things come in for all this. So Jason's like, what? Backline? I'm like, yes, backline, everything has to be paid for. Lighting, as of now, I'm not using a light person because the venue that I do it at has very excellent light setup with
Yeah,
modes and stuff. And
cool.
I was blown away this year on the lights compared to the year before. And I like the year
Yes,
before fine, but this year he got it and it was darker. And I went to coffee with him the other day. I'm like, dude, just know I'm always about our scene, darker colors,
dude,
and not
that's
the bright
the
fucking light
Sergeant
shining
Thunderhoof.
down at you.
The Sergeant Thunderhoof set was like.
Yeah, but you were peeking on mushrooms too, though.
Oh yeah, that's true. But even if
Ah,
I wouldn't,
I know it's a little.
but no, seriously, that was like, oh my
It was.
god,
It was
this is
magical.
so cool. It was
Omega
great night.
Sun, which you left. Omega Sun did the show at midnight, and we kept it real good at Doomy and Dark.
Oh
Oh my god, you were crushing. I
man, I
just
can
saw Omega Sun's gonna do a tour, is doing a tour with Samaveo. Couple
Oh,
Planet Desert Rock brothers in arms there.
oh, that's
Now,
cool.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think I'm trying more and more.
Those
That happens some with my little family of bands, we'll say. And I'm really excited how well Luna Soul and Godzillionaire, they meshed together, two
so
Planet Desert
good.
Rock alumni bands and are playing like the same day. And
Yeah,
I
I'm
love those
thrilled.
peeps. Like
Yes.
I adore
Yes.
Dave is just a wildly funny guy. His stories are insane.
All right, here's my favorite piece of memorabilia. One second.
Oh,
Destroy my basement. This is Mark Hennessy's scarf that he gave me in Denver. I fucking love.
cool.
Yeah, always have it like right here when I'm doing a show. I
Oh my
like.
god, that's
It's like
awesome.
I'm seriously like. It was
Did
a
he wrap
touchy.
it around your head and kiss you on the forehead or something?
Yes, of
Or
course.
like you have to pull you down a little bit because he's pretty
Like
short. Like,
kiss me on the head
I
like I
love
was
Mark.
Bobby Liebling. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. I love Mark. I text with him, all the time and catch up with him. There's no doubt. I was even happy to go, fuck everything. I'll just have him come back the next year. But I'm at least gonna. But I know time is precious as well.
Yes.
And that album by Godzilla and Air is going to be, for many of us in that list, up at the top. For others, I think people need to be reminded that it came out this year because it was
Yeah.
literally a
It's
January release.
January, so that
It
like
has rock weekend practically. So
it's it's a brilliant piece of art. Um the emotional depth that they're willing to explore as a band is um to be commemorated. You know, like we have a lot of angry or happy or whatever, you know, but we don't like like man, Mark Hennessy is fucking real. Like that album will make you cry if you listen to it and you read the lyrics, and it's like
I didn't do that.
it's a good one, man.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. So
And
yeah,
they
I'm
just re-released Negative Balance, which is the album that made me fall in love with them.
dude,
Um,
I got one of those 25 pre-orders. Like I got me one because I gotta have that.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that Ripple went through it. And I talked about it at one time, and I'm like, yes, that album deserves it. The more people know about it, the more people are gonna like it. The more people know that Mark Hennessy really has this band. Like me and Leanne Ridgway from Metal Media, we
She's
were
great.
like the two to latch onto them at the very early Negative Balance era. And we both were in Todd's ears at different eras of time. When Todd finally met him and then he heard him, he's like, "Oh, I'm in." You know what I mean? It was like a no
Yeah.
brainer.
Yeah.
And that's what you hope you do when you give it to like certain labels is they get it quickly and understand it.
Yeah.
And Todd's that way with a lot of stuff I recommend, thankfully. But man, all those cats are cool. The man on guitar is underrated. Um,
Underrated for sure.
God, I mean, great
Ben,
guitar
it's
sound.
Ben
Yeah,
White, right? Yeah.
yeah. And then
Fucking
the
great.
pounder on drums. Cody's a wild, is a pounder on drums, and
He's an interesting character too. We hung out
Mr.
a little bit.
Dahlia's
We hung out
Mr.
a little
Dahi.
bit when they were in Denver, and
Yeah.
the rest of us were smoking weed and watching Andy Kaufman on Saturday Night Live for some reason, and like
Oh yeah.
the
Always
that
weird.
drummer's reading like Lord of the Rings or something in the background. He's like, whatever, weirdos. I'm gonna go read a book. It's like right on.
Uh,
It's super like
okay.
really like just
Yeah.
like real people, man. Like
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
pretty, you know, John, like that's the cool thing about the scene, man. There's like I mean, I know we have some rock stars and it's not without ego, and I think that's a myth that nobody has an ego on the scene. That's not true either.
That's not
But for
true.
the most part, man, people are pretty down to earth. Pretty good
Yeah.
people, man. Like people you can talk to.
Yeah. I would say mostly. I
Yeah.
think that some bands, when they get to certain levels, they don't have any engagement at all. None.
None.
It will never respond to anything. And it always is like weird for me. Like I don't pester these bands, but when they get nothing, I'm like, oh, you're one of them.
Yeah.
You're already too hot to even be talking to people like me. It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
So yeah, I pick and choose who I get involved with. The majority of the time, people I've already kind of, every once in a while, it's a new band for me to engage with. Pretty new for me in Basque. Never knew any of them.
Dude,
And
I'm
in
excited
North
to see those
Carolina
guys.
boys, they're like, all right, we got to tie up this and that. And I was like, whoa, all right.
Hell
Got built
yeah.
the trust. I'm like, okay.
Dude, hey, I got some
Truly.
hey, I got some comments here. I have Mickey Wilkerson on. I can't wait for Planet Desert Rock Weekend.
Can't wait
And
to have you.
Andrea's like me too, and he's from Michigan, and man, like I'm
Yeah.
looking forward
I'm
to
glad they
meeting
went
Mickey
for
and
it.
his wife. Yeah, man, it's like John. Let's just like really quick. I know this is your interview, but I'm gonna take over here for a second. Let's talk about something that was um oh shit, I lost my point. But the real people thing where Mickey Wilkerson. Oh shit, I lost it. Fuck. Go ahead, take over the interview, okay?
Were you talking about the bands? Or
No, I was thinking about that. Oh no, like the community thing, you know, man. Like I'm glad Mickey and Val are gonna come out and see this community, and like they've already
Yes.
started to experience it at Jason Doom's show up in Michigan. Like our crowd's different, man. Like
Yeah, this is gonna be the traveling crowd. It's gonna be, not only Debbie, it's Scott, Chris Del Grande, which is another one in their loop over there. But then you got wild woman like Marlene O'Neill, who's like an instant party. Like I gotta re-release the video of her in Green Desert Water when I took it of her dancing. It was like the first or second song of the whole day. Remember that
yeah,
Green
dude.
Desert Water? And I
And I
knew
know
they were the one
exactly
that
who
was
you're
gonna wake
talking
our
about.
shit up.
Yeah.
And she was dancing around like
Dude, never
nobody's
stopped.
business, like feeling the music, feeling. And the band, the band was already like going off. The singer's so magical, and of course they feed off of that even more. You can see other people moving and grooving. I think that's a big part of what I want my music to be, my rock and roll, at least this year, to be more rock and roll and
Yeah,
movable with a groove. And that's why I think there's some classic rock leanings in this one.
I'm excited about
Because
it.
listen, I'm not going to be the same as everyone else. I got to touch this point and this point. I got to have a little of this. I wasn't going to have a doom band, but I technically have kind of a doom band. I have Space Slug, which is one of
They're
the
a
best.
doom band,
We're
buddy.
like heavy psych doom
Yeah, yeah,
with
yeah.
spacey. You know what I mean?
They're
But
one of my top 5 favorite bands in the world. Um, they're the reason I bought tickets for your show the first time around, them and
yeah,
Black
it was
Elephant.
them and Black Elephant were your two.
And, I'm fucking thrilled I got to see them 2 out of the 3 times they've been to the US. Man, I feel like I'm absolutely, blessed, John John, I looked at your show and the bands that you brought in and the way you set up your music, and it was a huge influence on the way that I did things too, because I didn't wanna do exactly what you did, obviously, so I mixed up the bands a little bit, and there's some doom
Yeah, of course.
bands, but the thing that I love about your show is that I don't have to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's in a fun place and there's other stuff to do and I have time to hang out with like other people before the
Yeah.
show. And I thought that was something I wanted to bring. I love the Ripple Fest band after band after band thing, but I just knew there's like nothing. I know where I could do that in Denver. And so that
Yeah.
was not a consideration. But the mix of bands that Ripple Fest brings was definitely influential.
Amazing.
And then seeing, and then um what Jason did up in Detroit and what Braun Dabney does in Kentucky was really opened my mind to, hey, you don't have to have Fu Manchu play at your show. Find some bands that aren't, necessarily,
Yeah.
gonna demand a price I can't afford, but let's like find some popular, fun
Yeah.
bands in the genre that are
You gotta know your
growing and they're
market.
on their upward trajectory.
Yeah.
And, and that's really what I tried to do. Like I've got some young kids and I've got some old veterans and I mean, God, we got like a couple members of Hermano playing at my show and like Godzillionaires established Shadow of Jupiter are older guys that are established, and it's and I wanted to mix that up with some kids like the kids from Gnome Stomper, and some of the the Denver acts. I think this helps
Yeah.
them do
I
some
think it's a great.
networking and get some exposure, and so. But yeah, John, what you do is important to the scene, just period. But, man, like, I look up to what you do and, like, you brought me a lot of joy with your show, and I was like, "Man, maybe I can do that in Denver. Maybe people will be
Yeah.
like, come out and have a really fun weekend and meet some new people and see some new bands."
I think what's good, I'll give you a suggestion
Yeah.
on things is make sure at your festival that you have a good time. Rich,
That'll be the hardest
Rich,
part.
Rich had me the other day on the show,
I watched the
and
whole show and it was great. It was a great
and
show.
he's
I
like,
loved it.
I would be a nervous wreck. I go, listen, dude. Pretty much seeing that first band kicks in is when I'm probably grabbing my first drink, which, damn,
I'll
that's
be
at like
smoking.
6:30 or something maybe.
Yeah.
Um, and I smoke small amounts of marijuana
Very
before I even
responsibly.
show up there because it puts me in a more laid back mindset, and I'm functional.
Oh, yeah,
I've been
absolutely.
smoking and been functional since '88 or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, dude,
So,
I'm a functional smoker too, so I will be smoking the entire time
and
there. Come
but
and
the
smoke a joint
key
with me.
is gonna be. Yeah, we gotta smoke for sure. The key is gonna be is having the right people around you that you can trust, and they know what they're directly responsible for. So there's no like big handoffs. Some people don't like being held accountable, and then they're looping you into it, and
You know
that's
what? I'm
the muddle
fortunate.
the.
Like I've been super fortunate with Zeth, having experience with bands and doing this
Yes,
before. Andrea is a wedding photographer and an event coordinator, so I have her coaching me along with her event
good.
coordination experience. And it's extremely helpful. And then I got like a good my kid has years of security and ticket taking experience for a security company in Denver. So I like rope her into coming out and doing the front door, and we have some I'm
Oh, wow.
surrounded by good people that I trust,
Good.
that I know that are as interested in having the show be successful as I am, and I like, with that, and the bands have been so supportive. I mean, I have days that I wake up, John, I'm like, "What the fuck am I doing? What the fuck am I fucking doing?" And then, I have my first cup of coffee and, like, maybe jump on Facebook and see a positive comment or listen, it's like, then I know I'm doing it. Cause man, I love this music, dude. And I want to bring Denver an experience like you've brought to, um, Vegas, or Braun's brought to Lexington, or Jason's brought to, Grand Rapids. And like, I want to spread that shit around.
Yeah,
Oh, and
nothing
hey,
wrong
I
with it.
also wanted to mention Shane Murray doing Doomfest 2 in Kansas City the week before I'm doing my show. Some of the bands are playing his festival and then traveling out to Denver. And like, I like that idea, little festivals. Maybe we get some bands because bands can't afford to tour anymore. Maybe
Well,
we like have something different.
that's a similar model to what Ripple Fest and Death
Yeah.
Fest New York City
Yeah,
did.
exactly. Yeah.
At first, I thought it was kinda stupid,
Right. Same.
if I'm being honest with you.
Yep.
And then I was like, well, but then I saw the potential with the international bands. I was like, I guess that's cool. You know what I mean? It's just,
Yeah.
damn,
Anything that can
that's
like
really banking on that
sh-
being a big
so Shane and I had a
week.
brief conversation when his show came out. And I was like, look, dude, like, let's do this in the future. And like, maybe we can work together and maybe we can get somebody from Europe. Maybe we can get a bigger US band and like give them a
Got
reason
big
to do
guarantees
both.
though.
And yeah, dude, I'm hoping next year maybe we're in a better position to do that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
like, I had to do this one first just to see if,
No, no. What I'm saying is to get that
yeah,
kind of
no,
band, you're gonna have to guarantee them some money.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
that's the
And
whole thing
so,
is right now you and Jason and everyone whoever else is involved with doing these ones where it's
yeah,
store revenue driven for the bands, along with of course all the merch.
right.
That's a certain model that can work to some level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
And
not to your level though. But, and I
well,
like,
that's
I
all
don't,
right. But you have
yeah,
to start somewhere, and some don't want to go any further than that. And they're like, "Well, I have endless amounts of bands. I can just keep doing it and
yeah.
bringing in other stuff."
So we'll see
It's
where it
up to the
goes.
person who's curating it.
Yeah.
If you notice with me, I do bring back bands because I think there's certain bands that are at such a substantial level that then coming
Yes.
back 2 years later, or 3 years later, like Space
Yeah, you
Slug,
think I'm
Freedom Hawk,
sad about
like,
seeing
like,
Freedom Hawk again? I
like,
am not. I
why would
am
you
not
not?
sad
Why would
about
you
it.
be sad, right?
I
It's some of the
right.
best bands. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, and bringing back bands 3 or 4 years later, or whatever, or 3 or 4 festivals. That's, I mean, like this year, Kaiser and Saturna, they played my second one back in years 2019 or 18 or something. So it's cool to bring back bands like that along the way, and give them some love. Mr. Bison, they're
Oh, they
a
were so
comeback band as well. Yeah, yeah. And so I'm this it'll be interesting the first night. It gets off to our three international bands on my first night. So we
but
got
I cannot
Random Out, then
frick
we get eyes, we got
dude,
like
I
a
cannot wait for
turn
your
up,
show. I cannot wait for your show. I
yeah.
am fucking stoked. Like, I'm stoked for my own show and stuff, but man, like,
Well, this
I'm
one's
glad I
first.
I'm glad I get to hit your show beforehand. And yeah,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
like, dude, it's like I said at the beginning, John, like your show was life changing for me, man.
Well, I
It
appreciate it.
really
That's
like
humbling.
really like was eye opening to me, or really learned a lot about the scene. And I learned that, and this is for everybody out there. And I know, like, Mickey Wilkerson, you're an artist and you're out there and you're doing some art for the scene. And like, you know what? The way to get involved in the scene is just to get involved in the scene, man. Like, be
Yeah.
positive, be remember it's about the bands, or it's about the
Support with money.
music, you know.
I'm sorry.
Be prepared to burn money, because I know
Support
I
with
burn
money.
money every month doing this shit. But you know what? I love it so much I don't care. It's worth it.
Someone here locally, they post something about the scene here, and is it dying or is it dead? And someone goes, "Listen, everyone here wants it free, and and they want the drinks cheap, and they keep talking about it. And so instead they don't come." And you're like, "What mathematical equation do you
Right.
see that's working for the people who are doing the show?" It's weird. And then I know a bunch of slow people that are, so they don't drink anymore. And you don't
Right.
drink anymore. So
Exactly.
that's lost revenue. Like when I do these shows, dude, I myself I pay my drinks. I do
I
five
don't
hundred
drink, but
dollars
when you
every
come to
night.
Dude, I don't drink, but when people come to Denver and you go to Bar 404, I want you to drink heavily. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
But no,
I
but
mean,
spend money at the bar, buy some food, buy some drinks, and like
yeah, you're
seriously,
lucky to have the food part, so that's good.
yeah, that, I think it's a good deal, man. I think people like will be putting more information. It's a good area, like we talked about at the beginning, John. I think it's a good situation. The
It
bands
sounds
are
great.
stoked. I can't wait, man.
Make
I'm
sure
super
to
pumped up. You got me all pumped up. Woo!
make sure to put somewhere your ticket link on this thing we just
Yes.
did.
Yeah, I will
Make sure that
definitely
you
there'll be
drop
a
that in there.
graphic for that. And
Just
you
got to
got
make
it,
sure
man.
there's a ticket link so people know they're one click away from checking out what you got.
Thanks,
You
bud.
know,
Hey,
yeah,
I appreciate all the advice you've given me.
and update that Facebook event, update the graphic because it was Miss Shadow of Jupiter. 'Cause
Oh,
I'm a
dude,
little
it's at the
cheesecake.
wrong one. Okay, thanks for letting me know.
How
I
on the
didn't
wrong one?
realize that. Dude, I will get that fixed. Shadow Jupiter, and I know that I'm missing one other band from
Now
that
I'm even
freaking
more excited. Shadow of Jupiter. I'm
dude.
like, all right,
All right,
cool.
man, my apologies to Shadow Jupiter, and everybody has looked at my. Dude, I just yeah, I'll fix that.
Yeah,
I'm
don't know.
a
I'm just giving
rookie.
you.
I'm a rookie.
I could have just gave it to you offline. I mean, I don't know,
No, dude.
but
No,
I might
dude.
as well do it now while I remember it. Hey, because I got a to-do list as soon
I
as I'm
love it,
done with
man.
this.
Nah,
Yeah,
man, I appreciate that. Honestly, I out there, if you see like a mistake, I'm like, man, let me know. I want to get shit right. Like I fucked up the time for this interview today. John's like texting me at 2 o'clock in the morning last night. He's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I'm like,
right,
I can't do
right,
time zones. Ah!
right. Yeah,
So
I'm
thanks,
behind you
man.
by one.
Hey, yeah, bud, I really appreciate you taking the time
Oh,
to do this, man.
well, thank you for letting me get underneath S.
Oh, dude.
Patrick Brooks embodiment here, and you're behind the scenes of what you kind of grew up with and all that, and
Yeah, you bet.
it culminates at your first weekender slash festival. You know what I mean, in
The HUFR.
Denver, and
Yeah.
so that's at the end of April, last weekend of April. Ticket links are going to be everywhere after this. Hopefully, remember that. Uh,
Yeah, I will.
yeah,
I
folks.
won't smoke until I do. All right, I'm gonna smoke as soon as we're done here. But yeah, I'll write
Drive
it down.
through. Jesus Christ. The
John, I
drive-to
haven't
pump.
smoked all day. I
Huh?
literally have this stupid cold and I can't
Are you
smoke.
sure
It's
you want to talk about this
ridiculous.
now? Are you really?
I'm just gonna take edibles.
I'm
It'll be
just,
fun.
I'm not joking. I don't know. We're in the weed industry. What do you care? Well, Sean, I wish you the best of luck, and
Thanks, bud.
God, I'll see you
Yeah, I'll see you next month, man.
in not even 2 months.
Dude, it's fucking. I'm so excited.
Damn, like 40 something days or some shit.
Dude, we'll hang out. We'll smoke one. We'll fucking talk some bands. We'll
We'll
celebrate your
see.
show.
I'll be running around like a chicken with a head cut off, though.
I know.
Can't keep still. I'm
Like you guys got to see John work this show. Something, man.
close to the
Seriously,
party.
go to Planet Desert Rock weekend if you can make it. Come to my show in Denver at HUFR Fest. Man, if you can't make one of our festivals, find one locally and go see some bands, man.
Go to shows.
Go to
Stop
shows.
making excuses. That's what
Fucking kill your
it's
TV. Go to
horrifying.
shows.
A bunch of people our age are just like, they're like, oh, by this time we've had our day in the scene and it was the 80s. I'm like, fuck that. I miss it. Front of the board, like, no, I'm Gen X, I'm fucking 56. No thanks to that 80s shit.
Nope.
There's good music being made right now.
Yep.
Like, if I want to hear older music, I'm going to go 70s or I'm going to go mid 90s or early mid 90s. I'm not.
Hey, man, if you like the 70s, this is your scene. They're ripping
can
guitar
happen.
players making
Yeah.
70s influence music, except guess what? It's new and it's not burned out, and you haven't heard it 1,000 times already.
Yeah.
Check out something
It's
new,
just,
man.
anyways, those people are near impossible, but some of them, we get new ones probably every day in the scene. It's just a matter of how much they stick around. But a lot of when they break out of their bubble and they kind of go dive in, then they're like, holy shit.
Yep.
Some people get stuck and they only listen to King Buffalo, Lomos, Older, Cadaver. There's like this 10 accepted bands.
There's so much more.
Yeah. Yeah.
John, you bring it.
Like, I found it. I don't need to hear anything else. All them witches. And
Never
like, holy
stop.
shit, you got to go beyond.
Always ABL. Always be listening. ABD. Always be discovering. ABSM. Wait, I don't know. Always be smoking some weed. No, I don't care about that one. But honestly, hey, really quick, John. I want to thank everybody that's watching. We have quite a good live crowd out there. Thank you guys who are watching Thanks for all the people, Scott, Jason, Mickey, everybody else who's commented. Sean, oh, that was me. Man, I appreciate you guys so much. John, I appreciate your time, bud.
Of course.
Do you want to wrap up?
Well, Sean, I want to thank you for letting me do this.
Thank you, bud.
And it's
I
been an
appreciate
absolute
you.
honor and a pleasure. You deserve it, brother. You've been a great part of this scene. I've always enjoyed having you around. I'm honored you even bring up Planet Desert Rock as kind of this, moment. But
It
you're
is.
good peeps, and Andrea as well.
Thank you.
And help, Beth.
Zeth
What?
Zeth
I've
Padula.
hung out with him too.
Dude, we
So,
can't wait to hang out. Zeth's coming, dude.
of course.
So we'll see. We'll all have to
Yeah.
hang out. Hell yeah,
Yeah.
we'll be there.
Yeah. So I just got to, figure out some numbers and a few things like that financially. So
Right
we'll be
on,
all right.
man. I appreciate
Well,
it, man.
brother, thank you so
Yeah.
much again, and good luck. And
Thank
I
you.
will catch with you very soon, John.
Sounds really good. Hey, this has been John Gist and Sean Brooks. John Gist of Planet Desert Rock Weekend and Sean of HUFR Fest and the Heavy Underground Farm Report, man. Hey, thanks for tuning in, y'all. We appreciate you. John, have a great night, bud. I'll talk to you soon. All right. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Yeah!